So we are here in Barre at the Kitty Korner Café. They're closed to rebuild after the flood deluged downtown Barre.
Small-town cat cafe owner saves cats in the middle of a flood. And the story sounds so terribly fantastical, and I'm like, it's really not. I was just panicked and in caveman survival mode in the dark.
Get 2.5 months worth of rain in one night.
Everybody was okay.
Everybody was safe.
I mean, this place looks really good.
Compared to what it was.
Yeah.
It took a little bit. Floor was definitely an undertaking. Wall was an undertaking. But it's almost there. This is Forget-Me-Not Flowers and Gifts. I was here 4 years before we opened the cat cafe, I think. They're just two of my passions that happen to be connected door by door.
We're a mom and pop and daughter and grandma story.
Yes, 3 generations. Yeah,
that's...
and maybe 4 if you count all the babies.
Oh no.
Ow, but it's so worth it.
There we go. This is what happens when you come into the cat cafe.
How can you not love it here?
Oh my God.
You're gonna fall. It was just a Monday. We were here. Everything was good. It was raining all day. But then all of a sudden it started pouring, so I sent the others home. I was like, you know what, I'll finish cleanup and all that. All of a sudden, the water was up to the side of the sidewalks, and I stepped off the sidewalk, and it was up to my shin. Water just hemorrhaging into the building. We had about 4 inches before I finally said, this water needs to go someplace else. So I grabbed a screwdriver and a hammer, put giant holes in the floor, drained it into the basement, which we lost a lot of supplies and a lot of equipment, but the kitties were safe. And all the while, we're trying to figure out, okay, we need to get these cats off the floor. There's groundwater on the floor, and you couldn't evacuate. And the water was easily up to my knees. And it was so fast. It was like a riptide through the middle of the city. And so we were just grabbing a cat, putting it in a kennel, grab a cat, put it in a kennel, put it on a shelf, put it on a table, put it as high up as possible. And we stayed all night. Around 1 o'clock, the water hit the ceiling of the basement and short-circuited the fire alarm system, which set off fire alarms. So that was traumatizing for everybody. Somewhere around like 5 o'clock in the morning, it finally stopped raining, and the water was literally up to the base of where my basement stairs start. And 1 more hour, and it would have all come pouring into the building.
This is the back of the cat cafe, back of the flower shop. The whole damn parking lot is still underwater. A lot of people are very sad. A lot of people lost whole homes, businesses.
Because your dad was...
Yep, he's the head of the street department here in Barre. Days before we really saw him, he was in a bucket loader evacuating people who were in like second levels of their houses, who were now underwater.
There were landslides. I think there was 23 landslides in the city. Apparently I nearly lost him a few times during the flood.
Then the neighboring building, a diesel tank tipped over in the basement, hemorrhaged diesel into my basement. So then we became hazmat. Called out to fosters. Within 4 hours, I had all 57 cats in a foster. Silt. So much silt. Ugh. The fact that this mud came with it was the worst, because it was thick and it smelled terrible. And it was everywhere. All of a sudden, everybody and their brother was calling me. I mean, it was Fox Weather, it was WCAX. The questions were always, are all of the cats okay? Did the cat tree make it? Absolutely, and look, here it is.
Yay, the cat tree made it!
Untouched.
You were open the day after the flood here.
I had no choice. I had funerals. It was, we had committed ourselves. They were already paid for. There were funerals still happening, which was amazing to me. Pretty much the bottom quarter of all of the walls had to be pulled up to get rid of the insulation so it wouldn't mold. It was bad. We had to rip up most of the floor.
The first few weeks we had so many wonderful volunteers.
He has painted, every lick of paint on this wall was George.
Linda here has been here every day, whether she's on the schedule or not.
My dad and my sweetheart do most of the construction in here. I do have my grandmother in today. She goes to Florida in the wintertime.
Otherwise, I wouldn't get time to spend with him.
That's true, because we live here.
You do. Yeah.
No more basement, no.
Move everything upstairs to the best of our abilities. Water heaters, washer dryer, whatever we had down there is coming up here. I mean, we made quick work of it because, like I said, we had a transport that had to be here.
They're a fun bunch. They're so boring. This one is like silk on the bottom.
I mean, this is the sweetest cats you'll ever meet. I was like, why did nobody want these? What are you doing?
Here you got some people.
They all come by and like look
Oh
in
yeah,
your
they
windows.
look through the window constantly.
People walking by who are like, we want the kitties.
Oh, absolutely.
We want the kitties.
I've got people knocking on the door every day, and I'm like, almost.
I have all the babies, and I feel bad when they see us in here and then they can't come in.
People are like, I can't believe you're reopening. And I'm like, where else am I gonna go? This is where we are. Barre is home. I mean, you're talking tourism. People come here just to see the cats. First and only cat cafe, and
It's slow coming, but it is coming. Restaurants are reopening, stores are reopening. I don't think we lost many.
I think we're the only ones who aren't officially open yet. This town was doing so well, and I'm so happy that it didn't completely destroy what was here. We're all struggling right now, and there's no money for us. FEMA's not doing anything for the businesses. Just the basement was $30,000.
And we are an actual 501c3 shelter.
We do have a GoFundMe. We have an Amazon Smile, an Amazon wish list, Chewy wish list, and people, when they heard about all the supplies that we lost, just started sending them in. And I was like, I didn't order 32 packages, and no, I didn't. Everybody else did. You can't cry, Alexis. You can't cry right now, because if you do, you're not going to stop. We're still doing adoption applications and whatnot, and trying to get people in here so they can meet the kitties they'd like to take home. Just don't forget about us. Don't forget about all us little guys here in Barre and Montpelier and everywhere else. I think Barre needs people more than anything right now.
The small businesses, they need you. We need you. The cats need you.
I just keep telling myself, I'm like, it's for the cats. At the end of the day, if the cats come back and they find their homes, I've done what I needed to do.
Vermont Strong isn't just a phrase, it's real.
This is home for all of us, and we owe it to this home to keep going, don't we?
Who doesn't want love like this in their life?
What do you think about that? Forrest is looking for his forever home, so be sure to come to the Kitty Korner Café to meet him and all of his friends. And we will get stuck in Vermont with you again real soon. He's been on my lap during each of these interviews.
When's the last time you did some self-care, Alexis?
I mean, I sit with cats. Does that count?
Well, I keep saying to Alexis that if they're her babies, they have to be my grandbabies.
Somebody's giving whispering sweet nothings in my ear.